Welcome back, World of Warcraft fans. This is another episode of Casual Encounters, episode 11.3, as I continue checking out all the alpha notes, patch notes for Warlords of Draenor, and looking for the most interesting news I could find, and getting that information out there to you. I've already talked about perks. That's the little things you get to add to your spells, I guess, as you level through Warlords of Draenor. The 91 to 99 things that sort of come out in random order. And I've talked about buffs and debuffs. So in this episode, I was looking at the level 100 talents. I'm not going to go through them all. But I thought what I would do is talk about a couple that seemed really just cool. I'm not saying these are the best. I'm not saying they're what people are actually going to take. I'm just saying they just sound really cool. You know, obviously most of the things, talents are going to be, reduce cooldown of this, or add damage to this, or consume this to give you this, or whatever. And those are all great, don't get me wrong, and probably a good chance a lot of those are going to get taken. But I just thought it'd be really kind of fun to look at some of the really cool, interesting ones, or at least that I thought were cool and interesting. So I'm going to take a look here. Let's start with the Death Knight. And the Death Knight will have in their talents. And now Death Knights, from what I could see so far, they don't really have any different options in their different specs, unless it's just incomplete. So it seems that they will have three. They're just the three talents: Necrotic Plague, Defile, and Breath of Sindragosa. And they're all kind of cool. Like, you got two basically, Lich King freaking things from this final boss in the ICC, and Breath of Sindragosa, which kind of speaks for itself. But the coolest one, I think Defile is really cool. I think it's going to, here. So what it is, defiles the ground targeted by the Death Knight, causing so much shadow damage every 1 second for 30 seconds. Each time Defile deals damage, it increases in area and damage by 5%. This growth can occur a maximum of 3 times per second. Enemies standing in your Defile deal 10% less damage to you. Replaces Death and Decay. 1 unholy, 30-yard range, instant, 30-second cooldown. So basically you can have it running the whole time. That's pretty cool, man. I think that's nice. That's a nice thing, and I think it's gonna be pretty big. Like I said, I mean, the other ones, maybe they'll cause more damage. Maybe they'll, I think that'll be really good for tanks. I think it'd be really, really good for tanks. Because you can get that grow. Something takes off, you can place the thing down somewhere else. I mean, I guess it's the same as the Death and Decay, but it's bigger, it's better, it's cooler, and you feel a little bit more like you're getting some of those Lich King powers. So that's cool. I like that. That's pretty neat. Druid, I guess the coolest thing, nothing super special, just if you're a feral druid. Now this one's very specific to feral druids. So what it is the Moonfire is now usable while in cat form, generates 1 combo point, deals damage based on attack power, and costs 30 energy. Oh, that's pretty neat. That's like, you'll have like a ranged, dot that you pull, as a feral druid, as a cat. That's kind of neat. I mean, I think we had the fairy fire, whatever, that could pull before, but this is cool. It gives more damage. It's cool, and you can use it if maybe there's some instances and fights and stuff where you got to kind of take off get, you got to back away from the boss or whatever for whatever reason, but at least you can still, pop that Moonfire, and that's pretty cool. That's a nice one. Again, there's tons of stuff. I mean, the Guardian got the Pulverize back. It's a devastating blow that consumes 3 stacks of Lacerate on the target. Deal 500 weapon damage to generate 30 rage and reduce damage by 20% for 10 seconds. So that's really, really cool. It's not the super fun stuff I'm really worried about here, but it's just another example of, like how most of talents work. Here, this is better than, this adds to this or gives you more damage to that or whatever. There's obviously lots of those. I just thought getting Pulverized back, I think a lot of the Guardian, the Bears, all those bear tanks will probably be pretty happy to have that back. It's a nice one. So what else do we have? Hunters get flaming shots. Basically, light your basic auto shots on fire, and they deal 80% weapon damage as fire damage. So that's kind of cool. It's just a cool thing. Your shots, your auto shots will be on fire. Nice, cool. And of course, the one that everybody's been talking about, Lone Wolf. If you are a marksmanship or a survival hunter, which increases all damage dealt by 30% when you don't have a pet active. And I think a lot of hunters are going to make you more of a ranger type, not necessarily a hunter. You'd be a ranger type. You won't have to worry about your pet. You're just going to do some extra damage on your own because you're not, focusing on your pet or whatever. For some people, this will be really good. I think for some of the really, really strong hunters who really know what they're doing, I think maybe this will be really good for them. They can focus on themselves, not worry about their pet. Maybe for some of the people, for some others, maybe it won't be the best thing because the pet does a lot of stuff on its own. And it's really going to be what you like as a hunter, I guess. What you're most comfortable with. I think I'm going to feel that this is going to be one of those things that that perhaps there's going to be a lot of testing, and someone is going to come out and say, yeah, having 30% more damage is better than having your pet, or vice versa. The min-max thing might come out on this, I'm not sure. But it's still fun. It's still a really fun, interesting aspect to a talent to have, to not require you to have a pet and still keep up your damage. Kind of cool. Mages. What do mages got? A lot of interesting. I thought that one interesting thing, I think probably the most interesting one is something really new to mages, I guess. It's a prismatic crystal. So what it does is it conjures a prismatic crystal at a target location, which is attackable by only the mage, and takes 30% additional damage. When the crystal takes damage, it instantly releases a burst of energy, dealing that damage, split evenly between all enemies within 8 yards. It's a 40-yard range, it's instant, and has a 1-minute cooldown. So that's really interesting because basically you can put this crystal down anywhere within 40 yards, hit it, and it's going to do 30% more damage. That's kind of cool. So, and it's going to split. So if I imagine if there's only one target there, you're going to do 30% more to that one target. That's interesting. Now, obviously, you have to take the time to put it down. I mean, it shouldn't take too long. Now, the only thing I'm not sure of is how long it lasts. It doesn't say. It does not say. It just says it's a 1-minute cooldown. I guess it's something you can just leave there. I don't know. Maybe it's just something that they haven't decided yet. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. So I guess you're going to decide if you want to hit one thing, if you want to hit many things. So you can do 30% more damage with your single target attack. So it's like it can be an AoE, but it doesn't have to be. And I think that's really cool in those situations where if you have like a lot of ads, Obviously, there's going to be some AoE stuff that's going to be better. But maybe those 2, 3, and then as, they dwindle down, it's still going to be cool to have it's going to hit how many you need and have your full plus 30% single target damage going out to whatever's there. So that's a really cool, interesting one. It's a totally new mechanic that I've seen. I haven't seen anything like this before. Just thought it was kind of fun. There's frost mages will have. What was that for? Oh, any mage can have that one. And then the comet storm calls down a series of 7 icy comets on and around the target. Each does so much frost damage, split between all enemies. So it's another AoE, kind of cool. Whatever. That one's not that special, but I thought the first one was very interesting. Monks seem to have 2 kind of fun ones coming up. Breath of the Serpent. If you're a mist weaver, your jade serpent statue breathes healing mist towards you, healing allies in a cone within 20 yards for so much every second. Split evenly between them. Last 10 seconds, instant cast, 1.5 minute cooldown. So that's kind of fun. Your statue's gonna like shoot healing mist towards you. So yeah, that's a fun, interesting one. It's you're gonna have to move yourself, get your injured people in between you and your statue. That could be kind of fun. I mean, it could be annoying too, but hey, to each his own. And then the Windwalker will have something called Hurricane Strike. It unleash a rapid series of kicks towards random enemies within 12 yards, dealing a total of whatever damage over 2 seconds. While kicking, you are immune to movement impairing and loss of control effects. 3 chi, instant, 45-second cooldown. Sounds fun. Boom, 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 boom. So it's like some random kicks towards everybody. Should be a fun, cool effect watching him kick around everybody. Now, I don't really play, I've never played Mistweaver or Windwalker. Maybe something like this already exists, but it seems cool, so I just thought I'd mention it. Who do we have next? Oh, and also, I think also the Mistweaver, again, I'm not sure if this is really something new, because I've seen these little orbs around before, but there's something called Path of Mists for the Mistweaver. While in combat, you leave a trail of healing spheres behind you as you move, spaced 3 yards apart. These healing spheres last 15 seconds. So I don't know if that's different than the orbs I've seen around, but I thought it was kind of cool. But I think it's also, I also wonder if this is a little sort of going against their sort of, movement. They want people to, if you want to heal, you gotta, stop and heal. But this is like, oh, every time you move, you're basically dropping healing bubbles along the way. So, I don't know. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's really cool. And maybe that can be a unique thing, obviously. But, kind of, it's sort of like it's weird that they're kind of adding something in that kind of goes against their whole philosophy on, not being able to heal while you're moving, whereas this is like basically you move, you're dropping these healing bubbles at people, but I guess people have to go into them, right? You're not literally just giving heals to people, so I guess that's kind of cool at the same time. Paladins, I really did not see anything that interesting. I mean, they're all, again, all good stuff. Talents, giving you, beacon of faith. If you're holy, mark a second target as a beacon. Mimicking the effects of beacon of light, has a 60-yard range, instant, 3, whatever. It's nothing. There's nothing like fun and interesting. They're all cool. They're all good. You'll have, you're gonna look at them, decide what's best for your gameplay, and that's about it. Nothing really fun or interesting to talk about with them. And that's the same with the priests. The priests are the same. So basically, if you're a holy, you don't got anything fun. You're just holy, and you just do good stuff. What else do we have? What is this? Rogues get some interesting. I thought this was really, really cool. Shadow Reflection. Summon a shadow of yourself on the target that will watch you and memorize your offensive ability usage for the next 8 seconds. After this time, it will mimic the memorized abilities on its target for 8 seconds. 20-yard range, instant, 2-minute cooldown. So that's really freaking cool. So basically, I guess what you would do is line up all your offensive cooldowns. Make sure you got them, whatever. I mean, I know there's going to be less now, but I guess this would be one. So you get ready to do all your offensive cooldowns, whatever you got. You hit your shadow reflection. A mirror of yourself shows up, watches you for the next 8 seconds while you do your stuff. After 8 seconds, it's going to do exactly what you did. That's pretty cool. That's that's a cool talent. That's just neat. I like it. It's fun. It's fun. It's a fun one. Another one, Death from Above. This is also rogue. Again, as the rogues, a bit like the Death Knights, don't seem to have, at least not yet, any specific things for specs. Just seems to be they have their 3 talents and that's it, whereas a lot of the other ones will depend on your spec. Death from Above. Finishing move that consumes combo points on the target to empower your weapons with shadowy energy and perform a devastating 2-part attack. You whirl around, dealing up to so much damage to all enemies within 8 yards, then leap into the air and slice into your target on the way back down, dealing up to an additional 500 weapon damage, up to 724% if a dagger is equipped. Damage based on combo points consumed. Takes 50 energy, 15-yard range, instant 20-second cooldown, and requires a one-handed melee weapon. That just sounds so freaking cool! I think rogues are going to love this stuff. That's pretty awesome. That's just a cool thing. Shamans. What do shamans get? I guess the one cool thing they get, I see one cool thing here, is the Storm Elemental Totem. Summons an air totem with 6,000 health at the feet of the caster, calling forth a greater storm elemental to hurl gusts of wind at the caster's enemy. Each gust of wind does damage to the enemy and then heals all allies within 15 yards for 100% of the damage dealt, split evenly, lasts 1 minute, takes 8,608 mana, instant, 5-minute cooldown. So that's pretty cool. So this is a pretty nice cooldown. It's going to give you a DPS and healing cooldown, and this is usable. Seems to be usable for any. This is the middle talent that all shamans will be able to use. So that's pretty cool. Warlocks. What did they get? Warlocks. What they got? Okay, they will. All warlocks will be able to choose from demonic. Will be able to choose demonic servitude, which means you are now able to maintain your control over even greater demons indefinitely, allowing you to summon doom guards and infernals as permanent pets. So I think warlocks should be pretty happy about that. From what I mean, they're going to lose some other stuff. That's all part of the other, talent, ability pruning and all that stuff. But that's kind of cool. That's a cool, fun one. I guess they can keep their Doom Guards up all the time if they want. And they'll also have Cataclysm. Conjures a Cataclysm at the target location, dealing so much Shadow Flame damage to all enemies within 8 yards and applying Corruption or Emulate. It's just a cool one. Not that cool. It's just another nice little AoE they can use. Warriors got some interesting stuff too. They got Ravager. So if you've done a General Nazgrim in SOO, you've seen Ravager. So they'll be able to throw a whirling axe at a target location that inflicts so much damage to enemies within 8 yards every second. Lasts 15 seconds, also increases your chance to parry by 20% for 15 seconds, 40-yard range, instant, 1-minute cooldown. That could be a pretty nice pull, I think, too. This is available to all warriors, so it's going to be nice as a cool sort of AoE, like ranged AoE thing that warriors will be able to do. Also a nice, bulk if there's, nice pull that tanks could do as well. I would guess it would probably be, you know, and then if they could like throw that on and then, you know, charge in and then do a thunderclap or something, that'd be some really, really cool threat mechanics and really, you know, get them going. Or if they just want to bring them, if they just want to pull a group away, you know, from something, they can like hit that entire group from 40 yards out and just pull them over. That's really cool. Really, really cool. I think it's a nice little thing that warriors will get. Another interesting thing that that they're going to get, which is really, really nice. The protection warriors, anyway. Protection. So this is for protection. You will get something called, you can choose to get Gladiator's Resolve. And this increases the damage reduction provided by defensive stance by 5%. Also allows you to forego your defensive role and instead focus only on offensive capabilities. By replacing battle stance with gladiator stance, a dauntless combat stance, increases physical damage dealt by 20% and replaces your shield block with shield charge. You cannot change into or out of this stance during combat. So it's basically something that you can either choose to be in one or the other. And the shield charge is it requires 20 rage. It's has a 10-yard range. It's instant. 15-second recharge. Requires shield. And so you raise your shield and charge a short distance to the target, increasing the damage of shield slam, revenge, and heroic strike by 30% for 6 seconds. Maximum 2 charges. So I think this is going to be really fun, especially for those warriors who are tanks and maybe want to go out and do some questing but don't really feel like like having to change specs to retribution or something. So, and you know, it's going to give them more damage to be able to kill things faster. You know, that's pretty cool. I mean, that would have been really nice if they would have do it in the middle of combat, you know, maybe add some damage at one point. But then again, I guess that would kind of really mess with rating a little bit, because whenever you do those tank swaps, they could just switch. So yeah, I kind of get that. But yeah, no, I think that's really, really cool. So that's, to me, those were the sort of fun, cool talents that have been shown so far here in the new alpha patch notes. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think. If you've read it yourself, you've read everything, and you think I missed something that you think is really cool. Like I said, there's a lot of good stuff. Don't get me wrong. I just thought these were the neatest, coolest, fun things that I found in the 100 talent section. So that's a nice long episode. It's been just about 23 minutes so far. So I'm gonna call it on this for the talents, and I will continue to scour through this huge report of stuff to see if there's any more interesting stuff I could find out of it that's worth talking about. I know there's a ton of stuff on class changes. There's so much in there. It's going to be kind of difficult to talk about that, because I played 3 classes. You know, a druid, resto, a little bit of guardian. I do a frost mage, and I do a protection paladin, which is, even that's pretty new to me. So I don't really know all the ins and outs of it so far. So seeing these differences, and then all the other stuff, I mean, there's so much. This is really one of those things where you're going to kind of have to go look at those changes for yourself. But I will try to look at them and maybe do like I did with, see if anything really pops out at me. And that's, yeah. So that's about it. Please leave your comments. Like this video if you like it. Please subscribe. Please subscribe to this video, to this channel, WoW on My Mind. You can, if you would like to just contact me personally for any reason, you can by emailing me at wowonmymind. You can see here, wowonmymind, but at gmail.com. And it's best just to leave comments unless you really just need to contact me for some reason. And again, subscribe so you know when my next video is coming out. And yeah, that's it. So have fun playing World of Warcraft. I shall see you again soon, I think. Bye.